Over the past 2.5 to 3 years, definitely during the pandemic, I think I have made a very, very conscious decision to, make a larger shift to clean beauty products. There are so many conversations around beauty and around each and every ingredient. So for every 10 articles that say a particular ingredient is nice, you have 20 articles, that say, hey, it's not that great. People talk a lot about fashion waste, but not too many people talk about beauty waste, and beauty waste is a huge problem.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Luxe Insider with me, your host Anita Khatri. What are your thoughts when you hear the word sustainability? A term that you have been hearing more often than ever, isn't it? Sustainability that started as a trend has now become a necessity. Why is less actually more? Skincare, hair care, makeup, and other cosmetics. Aren't we all flooded with plenty of available options? For every concern and every budget, the market has numerous alternatives to offer. I often wonder, do we know what we are putting on our faces? With the anticipation of getting a better complexion, or achieving a blemish-free face, or just waking up with a dewy glow, are we being ignorant about the chemicals that these products may have? Before buying a product, do you actually spend some time studying the chemicals and ingredients used to create it? I do, though I would not say that I am having complete knowledge of the subject, but I make it a practice to at least check the ingredients. That's how it is for me. Although I do understand that with so much information that we are surrounded by, it at times gets overwhelming. Chemical or chemical free? The pertinent question for the beauty industry is how to reduce the load towards environmental degradation. The beauty industry is the second largest industry contributing to climate change. Unfortunately, things like excessive packaging, plastic pollution, and unsustainable resource consumption are huge problems within the cosmetic industry that has damaging impacts on the environment. Packaging alone accounts for 70% of the industry's waste. Just in the US, 7.9 billion units of rigid plastic were created for the cosmetic industry. It's got you thinking, right? And yet, with concerns about pollution, germs, and sustainability growing exponentially, the beauty landscape is changing for good. Thanks to established eco-friendly brands such as Aveda, Bare Minerals, Lush, L'Occitane, Molten Brown, The Body Shop, many more, and a roster of newbies including some of the homegrown brands like Juicy Chemistry, Sultry, Pahadi Local, Love Organically India. Discover Pilgrim in beauty. Clean has become conventional and conventional is playing catch up. I am joined by Ainee Ahmedi, editor of Elle India, to give her fair share and opinion on clean beauty and sustainability. I am sure many of you, my listeners, have read Elle the magazine at some point in their life or the other. As the editor of Elle India, Ainee oversees all aspects of the magazine's editorial content, from fashion and beauty to lifestyle and culture. I couldn't be more happier to have someone of her credibility to break down sustainability and the hoo-ha around clean beauty.
Thank you, Ainee, for joining us today. And a very good morning to you.
Hi Anita, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk about this today.
Well, yes, we are also delighted to talk about this subject, which is a second nature for a woman. I mean to say, a woman cannot exist without beauty.
Right.
So, Ainee, tell us your viewpoint on the rise of clean beauty. Have you used any clean beauty brands? If yes, if you can tell us more, Or do you feel a difference with the way clean products feel on the skin versus chemically infused products?
Right. So, over the past 2.5 to 3 years, definitely during the pandemic, I think I have made a very, very conscious decision to, make a larger shift to clean beauty products. And I mean, absolutely, it does feel great. It is obviously much, much better for your skin. There's no questions about that. However, I must, bring up this point because I think that given the market that we have in our country, I feel sometimes clean beauty is also used as a cop out by a lot of brands. So I really do hope that in the near future, in the next 2 years or 1 year, hopefully, we do get some really solid regulations. So brands can no longer just say clean beauty and not really, have all the tick marks on it. Obviously, it'll take us a while to get there, but I'm seeing that we are getting there. Also, in terms of talking about the rise, yes, it's been crazy. I feel like similar to mine in the last 3 4 years, there are so many people who are now talking about it. There are so many people who are educating you about it. There are videos, there are articles, there are influencers, there are reels, there's everything. So it no longer feels like, oh my God, what is this? I don't know anything about it. It's just you don't know anything about it, just put the hashtag on Instagram and you will see 10 reels. I feel that has really helped. The amount of people talking about it has obviously helped, in the rise of the product, because then now you have access to understanding what it means. You have access to seeing what are the products that would actually fall in this category. So while I feel like as a term I still want it to be much, much more regulated, yeah, it's a great space, and I have been using a lot of products, of course. While I wouldn't say that I actively feel, a crazy amount of difference, because I feel like that also depends on the ingredients and a lot more things that are in the product. I think it definitely is a great space because you're putting lesser chemicals on your skin. Like that's just what we all need at the end of the day.
Sure, thanks so much. I heard that, and this is indeed correct that digitalization has helped and played a major role in helping us to, educating us. And if we are lost, we can just Google or we just hashtag, as you mentioned, and you have all the reels or the social media influencers have done a great job. But for instance, I can just tell you, when with this education, I have become conscious about checking the ingredients when I'm buying the makeup, and especially, ensuring that, we buy paraben free, we see what the ingredients are. But I would yet say, I'm talking from my experience, I am not aware of what ingredients are harmful and which ingredients are not. So when you go to shop, do you actually get down to check the ingredients of a product? Like, I'm sure your knowledge is on another level. For me, my knowledge, I definitely feel my knowledge is not enough for me to understand whether this is indeed the right product and it has no chemical input in it. Do you check the products before making a decision?
So I think what you said, I completely agree, that sometimes you just feel a little lost. I think I'm in a better space in the sense that I have a beauty editor to just ask. I'll just go over to my beauty editor and I'll be like, hey, like, what's this all about? And I think that's just my source of knowledge. In that sense, I found myself lucky. But yeah, I get it. Sometimes you just like, there's too much, and also there are so many conversations around beauty and around each and every ingredient. So for every 10 articles that say a particular ingredient is nice, you have 20 articles that say, hey, it's not that great. So I think it's very difficult to sort of make that decision without that knowledge. Definitely you want to consult your experts in this field for sure, rather than relying on just things that you hear. But to answer your question, yes, I do check the ingredients, because I also up until like 3 years ago had really crazy breakouts and all of that. So I think that just sort of paying more attention, putting that extra 5 minutes into looking at the ingredients and quickly checking it with a doctor or checking it with my beauty editor, I think that really helps me make the correct decision. But however, I have to admit that unfortunately I only do this when I'm in the shop. Like if I'm purchasing things online, which I'm doing a lot more than walking into a shop, I don't do it because I don't know, it just feels tedious. You have to look at the picture, then you have to look at the word. It's just hectic. But I do want to get in a space where actively I'm shopping from websites that list out all the ingredients, put them out there, talk about what each one does. I think that would really help everyone in purchasing with, like, say, a sense of purpose and purchasing the correct products.
Yes, exactly. I totally echo whatever you're saying, Ainee. I just want to also understand, would there be any kind of ingredients that we should be aware of when we are buying skincare or makeup? If you can just share one or two ingredients, it will really help us.
I think that again, I don't think that I'm well suited to answer this question because honestly, I'm just trying to stay away from recommending any ingredients or products, honestly, just because of the simple reason that while I got caught in this trap, I feel that I would just see a lot of people talking about like a particular ingredient or a particular product, and I would just end up buying it. And I think I have really damaged my skin. I think that I've really I'm still reversing it. Like I'm still in a space where I'm like, okay, now this is the way to go about it. So I think for me as a person, I've completely become like if only my dermat says yes to this, I'm gonna pick it up. So that's the only reason why even when I'm getting my team to write an article, or even when my team or me personally are talking about it, I think we get we are very clear about the fact that sure, this ingredient is great for my skin, but maybe it might not like really work for you.
Okay. So basically, the takeaway is that we must, since we don't have the exact understanding of all the ingredients, the best is to take expert feedback, and also every skin will respond differently when it comes to skincare. So, every ingredient will react or respond or have a different impact on the skin. Yeah, get you. I get you. I get you.
Clean beauty in that sense is very scientifically backed. There's a lot of science in it, so I feel like that's a good part, like, which is why you need to get an expert knowledge on that, because it's not just like, okay, putting together like how we all grew up with like haldi ka mask or this or that, like we were just like putting these things together in our kitchens and just putting it on our faces. But I think when it comes to clean beauty, there's so much science to it. Each of these ingredients, they are tested, they're tried. So I think, which is why we need to tread a little more carefully.
Agreed. So, sustainability has become a necessity, it's not an option anymore. Do you think brands are genuinely taking an effort in that direction? Or is it just a marketing confirmation or marketing front where they say, okay, this brand is sustainable? There are sustainability practices which have been incorporated. What would you say on that?
So, I recently had a very interesting conversation with Anam Chashmawala, who is a blogger, and she also has her own brand, Verified. She said when she was, launching the products for Verified, and when she was telling them that, hey, I want this product to sort of, whatever, add moisture or whatever, the person would be like, a marketing dosage or performing dosage. So that really, I was like, what? And she said, yeah, this is
Marketing and performing. I didn't get it. Okay, please explain.
there are these two dosages. One is a marketing dosage where you put in an amount that will sort of get you the tick mark and say, okay, this brand has this, but it will not really perform. So performing doses are completely different. So suppose if you have to put 10% of, say, vitamin C, then X% that is just for marketing, where you say, hey, my product has vitamin C, but there is a different dosage for it to actually perform. So I feel like absolutely I don't see genuine effort, except for a very few brands, of course. I don't see like a genuine, there is a marketing like gimmicky sort of vibe to the entire like sustainability. And the same thing I feel for gender free beauty products. I don't think that beauty products come with genders anyway. I feel like it is a marketing gimmick. And unfortunately, beauty is a great space to use all of your gimmicks. So yes, sustainability, I as a person who uses it and as a person who is looking at the industry from a expert, I do feel like it's gimmicky. Of course, we have those very very few brands that are doing amazing work, but sometimes their work also doesn't get the the uh, it doesn't get the recognition, because of course there are so many of them not really doing it. I feel like the good part here is that the consumer is more aware, so there is a huge chance of them getting called out. There is a huge chance of, say, a product is not performing well, it's no longer you and the customer care, it's you and the customer care and social media. So I think brands are getting very very careful about that. If they hear negative feedbacks, I have seen that they tend to sort of address it in a better manner than just saying, okay fine, we'll give you a refund. Like, there's an active sort of change that is being done, and I think that's great. So it is gimmicky, but I feel like with consumers being more aware, we are driving the change.
Agreed. Totally. I'm with you on that. And how would you incorporate sustainability in beauty in your daily practice?
I think that's a great question. Honestly, for me, and because of the field that I'm in, and I do end up getting, of course, a lot of PR packages, a lot of products, where people want you to try the products and just like give really honest feedback. And I think what I have actively started doing is requesting them to not send it to me, unless I specifically ask for it, or unless I specifically want to purchase it. So that is, I feel like that is my way of reducing wastage, instead of just like keeping these products piled up in my on my beauty shelves. And the second thing, of course, for me, a big win is just everything that can be refilled. I've stopped using like plastic containers. I've moved to soaps. I have also completely, I love brands that will tell me that, hey, we'll refill this for you. Like, I think that's just lovely. And another thing I've done is I've completely thrown away the wet wipes, even though they're so nice. I'm like, no, we cannot do this. So I've started investing in those beauty things that you can reuse. You can wipe your makeup off, you can quickly give it a wash. And I think that works for me perfectly, because of course, like I said, I have skin that gets easily infected. I do get a lot of acne, so I think it's great for me to use products that I can just wash, and then I know that it's clean. So these are honestly very very small baby steps. And of course, just sitting down with everyone and talking to them about it, and which is exactly what you are also doing. I think that is also so important, just to actively tell people that, hey, this is not okay, you need to stop doing this, you need to stop buying so many products, and you need to stop just creating so much waste. I think people talk a lot about fashion waste, but not too many people talk about beauty waste, and beauty waste is a huge problem, of course. So these are some of the small ways that I'm trying to probably make an impact.
Fabulous, Ainee. Fabulous to hear the steps that you have taken. And thank you also for the encouragement that you gave me just now of talking about this subject. And that brings to me to, I agree with you as far as the beauty waste is concerned. Not many people talk about it. And a little bit that I also do is I've just tried whatever I'm not using just before the expiry date, I'm just trying to share it. So that's my way of contributing in a very small way. But at least we know that the universe will therefore not have that much demand if you're sharing all of those products and they are not going waste. So that's very important.
Right.
So you mentioned a very important point, towards sustainability. It's a refilling. And I do know of brands like Molten Brown and other brands that have introduced a great refill methodology for shower gels, and even for, there are a lot of fragrance brands which are also practicing that the same. So packaging is one of the very essence that goes in making a luxury brand. But with premium packaging comes the challenges of environmental damages. Would you buy if it is not packaged with all the frills that they usually, what the luxury brands generally bring onto a packaging front? Now, I'm asking you as a customer, would you actually buy a product which is not really packaged with all those frills, especially a luxury brand?
So, I think again, like, interesting question, because I have to be very honest with you. Yeah, I love the packaging. Like, you love it. It's an experience to like sort of just open it, and especially with luxury brands, and when you go to luxury skincare, I think you feel like part of their story, because like, oh my God, there's just so much that you get. But of course, I have become a very, very aware customer now. I don't want to like give into those, again, like those gimmicky, things. I feel like if it's a product that I have loved and I have used, I am very happy to just pick it up without any packaging, definitely. But I have to be again very, very honest here. I feel like for a new product, I don't know. I mean, I'll just say I don't know. I want to be like a better person and say yes, I will still buy it without, the packaging. But to be honest, I would say that if it's a tried and tested product, or if it's a product that comes highly recommended by some of the key people who help me make these decisions in skincare, yes, I would definitely pick it up. So packaging, I don't think that not having a lovely like frilly packet would, I mean, I think I would pick it up. I think I aim to be a better customer, so yeah, I would want to pick it up.
uh, what you said is coming straight from your heart. So we do thank you for that. In a world where we wake up to our Instagram notifications and feed, millions of beauty brands lure us into trying their holy grail products. Okay. Obviously, the temptation rises and the conscious buying decisions blur out because you are bombarded, when you're waking up. How do we practice sustainability in this kind of a scenario?
Yeah. I think that's a struggle. We all are looking for an answer to this, for sure. But I think for me, actively, a very small thing that I'm doing, and I don't know if it has a term, or if like it's called something. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about it. Is to put it in a cart, sleep over it, and then look at it the next day. So I think I've completely tried to eliminate this. Uh, Instant purchasing, where I'm like, oh my God, like I need it right now. I still, obviously, I would be honest again with you. Yeah, there are some products where you're just like, oh my God, I need this in my life. Simply because you want to try it, or you want to like really put it to the test and see whether it really does what it is talking about. I definitely stopped purchasing my beauty products. I've definitely stopped scrolling and looking at beauty anything in the night because I feel like that's when I'm the weakest and I'm like, I need this. But yeah, I put it in my cart and I genuinely sleep over it, and I'm telling you, this is so true, like 94.
I agree because I do the same. So I agree with you. This is a small tip, but yes, it just works.
Yeah, it just works, right? I mean, you just add it to your cart, you fulfill that, like, that need that you want to do, it's in your cart, so it's right there. And yeah, I think honestly speaking, the and I do give into drops sometimes, especially when it's a product that I love, like I know that this is, I absolutely love this and I'm going to use this. Yeah, that's when I'm like, okay, I need this right now before it sells out. And that's the thing, right? Things sell out. So I think that's where this whole need to have it right now comes into play. But I feel like, yeah, consciously I'm still like trying to put it in the cart and maybe like look at it the next morning. And I think it just doesn't look that great in the morning most of the times.
Okay. And if I had to ask you, would you still invest in a product if you know that the brand is causing damages to the environment
I'm trying.
and it is doing good to you? Maybe you have tried and you still know that the brand is, the product is fabulous and it's doing good to you. But if you know that brand is actually causing damages to the environment, would you still invest in it?
No, I think we all actively need to, like, say no to that, because we can't say array, but like, it's good for me. I don't think we're in that space anymore where we can even have that as a cop out. I don't think so. So I think, yeah, if I may be still doing it because maybe I don't know enough about the brand. But yeah, that's another thing that is on us, right? To know about the brand, to know what the brand is about. And we do so much of it in fashion. Again, I'm not going to call out brands, but like, there are so many brands that do so much harm. And I think all of us have actively been like, okay, I'm not going to buy from here. And I think for beauty also, yeah, we just need to do more of it. I feel like it's important to sort of research the company, and especially, if you're tuned into the news, and if you're tuned into like the top beauty pages and all of that, you just come to know that, okay, this is causing harm. And I think absolutely no. I'm very confident of the no that I'm saying here. Like, I would never buy it.
Great. And there is anything else that you would like to share with the listeners in this space that we are talking about? Otherwise, I think I have to thank you for your time, because you have been fabulous, stating facts, telling us right from bottom of your heart the situation that you probably would face, and from your expertise and your experience. And yes, the audience, not only you researching the brand, but the fact that digitalization has made this research so simpler. The least that we can put in is just take that effort and step back, and just not get into that indulgence mode, and step back and look at it, and move forward, do the research and do the homework, and then indulge into something which is in the beauty space with the digital era that we live in. But is there anything else that you would like our listeners to know in this space?
I think exactly what you said. I think you put it lovely. I love you put it down fantastically. It's just the fact that you are in a space where you can read and learn. So why would you want to be like uninformed anymore? Definitely I would say read. I don't think we are ever in a place where we know everything about everything. So just constantly, I think especially in the beauty space, follow like the top pages, follow L. I had to say that. I think just constantly, like even at L, for example, we are doing this thing called ingredient breakdown. So what we do is we do take up like some of these really like retinol, or like just really spoken about ingredients, and we sort of do a breakdown. We speak to all of the experts to give the readers an understanding and a clarity on what it really is and how much does it really help, or is it gimmicky and all of that. So I think for me also, constantly just like reading and asking questions. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to like go to the customer care and ask for some things that you want. If you can't find something online, if you can't find like say their sustainable policies online, you are well within your rights to ask for it. So I feel like just don't be afraid, ask your questions, and then make a choice. And definitely like delay your beauty buying thing from 1 hour or 10 minutes to like an entire day. I think take that time, put in that effort, research the brand, research the ingredients, put it in your cart, sleep over it, and then like buy it.
Just fantastic, and really grateful to you for giving us your time, Ainee.
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely.
Thank you so much, Ainee.
That was all for today. What sustainability in beauty actually means is brands considering ethics as well as aesthetics, and cleaning up the beauty industry by designing products with minimal environmental impact. It's about making sure everything from sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, and selling is making the tiniest impact possible. Let me know your thoughts on going greener in the beauty industry. I am trying to use less, make conscious decisions on my buying habits, and avoid using chemically infused products. It works for my skin better. But you know what? You do you. See you next week with another interesting conversation on beauty. Until then, bye bye.